this is going to bring us into this reading here, because what you're bringing to the table in terms of, the April energy, we have here the Nine of Swords, and the Nine of Swords is a situation where we have a lot of things kind of like backed up that we need to sort through, that we need to figure out. You're not innately an emotional sign, but you are very, very passionate. You do feel things on a very gut instinctive level. And this is a card about releasing old demons so that we can get, restful sleep. This is a card about not ruminating so much over the past, not worrying so much like, is it or is it not going to happen about the future? This is a card about telling you, let the worries go so that you can get adequate sleep. Take better care of your body. Don't feed into the drama. Don't feed into the gossip. And, do things in a very low-key manner so that you're not inundating yourself with a lot of worries and anxieties in your sleep state, okay? A lot of the times I think about this as, getting like possible, medical procedures or even like surgical procedures, and you're not in a state of mind, like, or even like physically or mentally to get restful sleep. So I feel like some of you might be recovering from an illness, a surgery, and or you might be recovering from some type of a very tenuous situation where you felt like a little bit defeated and you felt like I could not win in that situation. So this is something that you might have been dealing with, okay? So you're coming into this month with this energy. And my advice here is honestly try to relax and try to take better care of your body, okay? Nutrition. And proper nutrition especially, okay? Reward your body with good food. And that's how we can, get ourselves a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered. Just feed your body the nutrients that it needs. Slow down a little bit. I'm seeing a lot of you overextending yourself last month. And I also feel like it might have wreaked havoc on your pocketbook as well, on your, money as well. So the main theme for this month here, as it relates to your financial situation, is you're starting to get a handle on things, okay? So all the expenditures, all the trips, all the outings, I feel like they're taking a toll on your pocketbook. And so there's going to be a little bit of a slowdown, and rightfully so. It is your birthday time. So I'm hoping that, friends will start coming in, chipping in on the responsibilities, taking you out, taking care of you, showing you a good time. And you don't need to lift a finger. So I feel like you've got some really strong emotional, positive support coming through on the friendship sector, okay? And as a result of that, I feel like they're going to make you feel very special. And you're going to then, be able to not have to exert so much money and so much energy planning things, organizing things with a bunch of other people. I feel like most of the groundwork is going to be laid out for you, which is a really good, I guess like a really good brick that you desperately need, okay? So in terms of the relationship sector, what I'm sensing is, let me talk about business first because that's coming through. I feel like a business proposal coming through from friends. This is going to require that you leave your current job in order for you to take up on, the role of the partnership, the financier or the investor in a major business idea that is coming through from your friendship circle. Okay. So I feel like a lot of you have been or are going to be dealing with some type of proposal where somebody is wanting you to chip in, partner up with them in order to get a project going. And they understand there's a lot of risk involved, as with every new startup, as with every new entrepreneurial venture. There will be a lot of risk. And I feel like, you trust your friends, you trust the people that are coming through with this proposal. And you're trying to think whether or not the risks are worth it. And you're also trying to think like, whether or not geographically you're going to be in the same location long enough for them to count on you. So it's almost like it's a great thing, and it's going to pan out really well because you trust the expertise of the other person. But you're trying to see as well, this is going to be a major I guess like reassessment of my career track, where I'm at right now. And I don't know if I'm going to be here geographically for the next 5 years. So I don't know if this is something I am supposed to get involved in right now. So I feel this very trepidatious energy about you guys. A lot of the times when I do readings for Aries people, the energy is very strong. It's very like one way, you know, like one direction. It's very straightforward. But this is the month I feel like you're doing a lot of reassessment. And honestly, I feel like physically, if you're not in your best state where you're medicated or you're not feeling good, like physically, it's not a good time for you to make major decisions, because I feel like you might be dealing with some frustration. You might be dealing with some other things that's hindering your ability to look at this situation objectively. So I do feel some of you, financial opportunities coming through from friends, either a new job altogether or partnering up with another person in order to start something. And I feel like it's a very small group, possibly with 3 people, or possibly just a partnership, okay? Like between you and another person. They're saying it's going to be very lucrative, and I feel as well it's going to pan out well. In terms of your relationship, like romantic relationship sector, we have here the 3 of Cups, which traditionally denotes somebody who is socially dating. This is a card about, you know, lighthearted energies, merriment, having a good time, going out socially drinking. Or even if you are in a relationship, there's going to be a cause for celebration as it pertains to your partner who's either reached a major milestone in his or her career or in his and her professional life, okay? You likewise could have reached a major milestone in your own career or your own professional life, and there's cause for celebration and solidification of some type of a union between you and another person. This greatly indicates to me engagement, also like marriage proposals happening. So I feel like it is a really a very, very good month for many of you. For I do see a lot of proposals. I do see a lot of like engagements happening for you guys. So very good energy. Likewise, for some of you, I feel like majority of you might be in a relationship, and I feel like some of you might be single, out dating, socially dating. You haven't really I guess like, you know, honed down on one person that you're seeing specifically, but you're enjoying yourself and you're enjoying your time, meeting, mingling, and, you know, exchanging energies with another person. So that can be, you know, sexually, or that can just be like through conversation. But I do see a lot of just intimate energy between you and another person, even if you're socially dating. And I feel like that's really going to help you feel good, and it's going to provide release. And I feel like you're just going to feel really good this month. Just take care of your health, okay? So taking care of our health means everything. So that means when the partnership house is highly impacted, it basically means being a little bit more aware of our fertility as well, you know, unwanted pregnancies and things like that. And I feel like either way, there's going to be a joyous occasion linked up with your partnership sector. So there's going to be good news, engagement, as well as proposals, taking the relationships to the next level, or even attending a lot of weddings, social functions with a significant other where you're going to be seen as the power couple, okay? The other message here pertains to your 12th house. So let me talk about this, because it's greatly tied in together. So this deals with your career. And I feel like this. Some of you are at a career track or in a work situation where things have been a little bit chaotic, okay? You are dealing with people who might have dealt with their own wounds, who might have had like, they're saying like people who don't make the best decisions given their circumstances, okay? And I feel like it's really hard for you to communicate with these people because energetically they're of a lower vibration. So you can't really get your point across. You can only help them with whatever problems they're dealing with right now. So it seems to me like it's a revolving door, you know, like a new person comes in with the same issue that you just solved like 2 weeks ago with another client. And it's a revolving door process. And you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm just a cog in the machine. I'm not really making lasting change. And because of that, as well, I feel like you're no longer inspired by the work that you're doing. You do it possibly because it's stable, it pays the bill, and there is value in dealing with people who might be marginalized or underprivileged, in some way. But when you have to keep doing these things and you don't see any tangible results in the work that you're dedicating your life to doing, I feel like you're getting frustrated. Others of you, you might be frustrated with authority figures, supervisors, bosses in your work environment. And there might have been like a situation, like a confrontation in the past, possibly around, 3 months ago. And you're just trying to avoid them. They're trying to avoid you. And so you have like a very strong, I guess, persona in the workplace where you don't compromise, you don't back down from conflict. And it seems as if this is a situation that's going to come up again to revisit for you for this month. And if you're in a situation like that, I feel like you're in a work environment that pays quite well. Okay. I do see that. I feel like your financial sector is very, very stable, which means you're paid quite well. And even some of you where you feel like you're not paid well, there's like a consistent salary. It's very consistent on on a month to month basis. So I don't feel like it fluctuates very much. But in terms of your career, you might be at a point where you can't get any further promotions. So you might feel like, this work environment, it pays the bills, but I'm no longer feeling inspired. And I'm staying because of the financial security, but I'm not feeling as if I can continue to climb that corporate ladder or even break that glass ceiling. So you've been reassessing whether or not you can transfer to a different company, to a different branch, to a different department. So I feel like you've been contemplating this for quite some time. And then for others, health issues affecting your ability to work or find that work environment that's suitable for you. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of health things coming through in this spread. The sword energies, especially, the Nine of Swords, this is emotional. This is more like physical recuperation from surgeries or even like medical procedures that really saps your health, saps your vitality. And because of it, it's also affecting you in terms of, your ability to rise above, your ability to really shine in a professional environment. So this is your public image card. And I feel like you're not given the opportunity to do that. Okay. So whatever way you're working, some of you might be out of work right now for health reasons. Or you might need to take some days off this month too. So just be careful, take care of yourself. Okay. If you are also doing any type of surgery, please reschedule. It's Mercury in retrograde. It's Mercury in retrograde. If you can, if it's elective procedures and you have a little bit more flexibility in when it should get performed, please be careful about elective procedures, okay? Like cosmetic surgery, especially. Just try not to do it during the Mercury in retrograde. I believe it starts on April 9th. And it's going to continue until May 3rd. So just avoid the time, okay? There are more like higher probabilities for mishaps and missed appointments, having a longer wait time. So just, people are not operating at their best either. So even though you might be prepared from your end, the other person might not. So just, try to avoid medical procedures, especially if they're like elective, they're not life threatening. Just try to push it, like delay it for another month. Okay. So, and which takes me to the next part. So I feel like there is some uncertainty when it comes to the work that you're doing, no longer feeling inspired, feeling like you're a little bit of a cog in a machine. And I feel like, you are the first sign of the zodiac. Your motto is, you want to be the trailblazer. You want your results to speak for your work ethics. You want your results to propel you to the next phase in your professional life. And if you're just like a bureaucrat at a desk, if you're just a cog in the machine and doing the same job over and over again, dealing with revolving door issues and, revolving clients and people coming back with the same problems, you feel very uninspired. And I feel like that's what's happening in your work environment. Yes, it pays the bills. It is stable, but you're thinking long term. Where do I go from here? Am I happy doing this for the next, 30, 40 years? And so major reassessments are coming through. And I feel as well, it is also affecting your relationship. So first of all, we have here the lovers. And this is, the ideal relationship that I feel you guys want. And the lovers is a situation where we are very, very physically, emotionally, and just in every way attracted to another person. And we want somebody who might have the same work ethics as us. We want somebody who is like professionally on par with us. So I feel some of you are in a relationship where you really love another person, but professionally, they might not be where you need them to be to have a relationship with you, to get married to you, to have children with you. So I feel like they might be lagging behind on their ability to provide. They might not be on par with you when it comes to their income generating potential. They might not be on par with you when it comes to, having an established career where they can commit to a long-term relationship and have children. So we're at that crossroads with another person I see coming through for this month. And then for others of you, the energy can flow both ways, where your partner wants more, but they feel like you might not be financially on par with them. So I feel like there is something here about public image affecting the relationship. I'm also sensing as well, some of you are dating somebody who's not available. So you're dating somebody in a very clandestine, on the down low type of way, and the other person's in another relationship. Okay, so you might be seeing somebody, like you might be knowingly seeing somebody who is in another relationship. And I feel like your friends are telling you, don't do that. Don't do that. And I feel almost as if, the pull is so strong. The secrecy surrounding it is so exciting. So we have some major reassessing that needs to happen for this month, okay? So that's what I feel is happening here. You might be the willing, Mr. or the Mrs. in another relationship. So please be careful about that. All right? So if that's something you're dealing with, just be very careful. And I feel honestly that some of you are not, like within the past few months, you might not have gotten that commitment from that person. And I feel that might be why you were traveling so much, to try to forget, to try to move on as well. And it's reeling you back in. So I do see this combination. I do see some shame, some guilt associated with it, okay? Like getting involved with somebody that we know our friends don't approve of. We know that they're not like relationship partner. We know there's something immoral about, this entanglement, but we can't help ourselves. So if it's done, it's done. Leave it behind, okay? There's no use in, I guess, like bringing along the guilt if you're not going to do something differently. A lot of the times, a guilty conscience is just our conscience telling us there's something wrong here and we shouldn't be doing it, right? So I just feel like, the situation is what it is. So just be very careful what you're getting yourself into, okay? So I rarely see that for you, Aries, but this is the month in which I feel like this needs to be addressed. So if it applies to you, your guilty conscience, I feel like it's hurting you. You're usually a very, very honest sign. And so I don't like seeing this energy. Just make sure you do the right thing, okay? When presented with temptation, everyone deals with them one point in or another in their lives, and we try to do the right thing. So I feel like that's what's happening here. But either way, moving on forward, I'm sensing, just this energy of you wanting to leave the past behind. And I feel like some of you who might be on the younger end, like 20s and your 30s, you might like somebody. I'm getting this. You might like somebody and you might have already, dated their friends. And so I feel like, past actions when it comes to who we date, who we slept with, who we became very intimate with very fast. All of these things are coming back to haunt us. And I'm feeling some of you are feeling a little bit like ashamed of your actions. Keep in mind, this is between consenting adults. Whatever you do is nobody else's business except you and the other person. If they talk, if they brag, if they do something to expose, something that's very intimate and private, you do not need to associate with them. Okay. And the people that are just like a little bit more conscientious, and the people that are a little bit more thoughtful, they won't take these things to heart. And so don't worry about, past, what you did in the past. It's supposed to be between you and another person. And if whatever situation came to light, it exposes the person for who they are. So I feel like that's what's happening here. Don't beat yourself up over it, okay? It's between consenting adults, so don't beat yourself up over it. I'm also sensing here, we have like a lot of major arcana cards here, and it is rightfully your birthday time. So I feel like that's why all the major arcana cards are coming through. But in terms of communication, we have here the moon card, which basically indicates a situation where you feel like something was off and something is wrong. Your intuition was screaming out, telling you to dig a little bit deeper. And I feel some of you are doing just that, digging into a situation, trying to find out, they're saying like, try to review text messages, trying to review emails to figure out a time frame. So you might have, broken up with somebody, and then you're trying to, and they might be seeing somebody new, and you're trying to find out, when did this happen? When did we break up? So I'm seeing a lot of you reviewing old photos, reviewing text messages to see how the timeline matches up. You might even have a confession from a person that, I stepped out of the relationship, and you're trying to put all the pieces of the puzzle together so that you can figure things out. So this is a very heavy energy for, relationship focused for this month for you guys the energy is coming up so that you can deal with them and so that you can get some clarity. Okay. So I'm very sorry to relay that information for you guys, Aries, who are dealing with this, but it came out so strongly, and it's coming out here across 6 cards. Okay. So I have to relay the information. So I apologize. So we have both of these cards. You doing a little bit of snooping, investigating, looking at other people's pictures and timeline, try to match up the timeline and see how they have panned out. And then once again, I'm sensing as if this deals with like an ex-partner, no longer in the picture, but you still care about them. And it seems like you might have devoted a lot of your time in this relationship. You might have shared assets together. And so this is something that you can't let go, because, once you want to know something, you push and push and push until you get the exact answer. And I feel like that's what's happening here. You're getting some clarity so you can move on. Okay. Keep in mind, this is closure so that you can move on. And I feel like this is possibly with a past relationship that you never had closure about. And so you're getting some closure now. Think of it as a birthday wish, getting the closure you need so you can move on with your life, date new people, have an amazing time, getting out there and not doubting your power of attraction. Okay. Somebody really hurt your self-esteem in the past, Aries. I feel like there was a person you were very madly, and I'm sensing like madly attracted to, in love with, and they really hurt your self-esteem. They might have walked out, and I feel like, you're just not the same person as a result. And I'm feeling there was just a lot of unfinished business, and you felt like, like rationally, you knew that it wasn't good for you. But I feel like this attraction here is so strong that you always hoped it would come back, or they would come back. You always hoped to get a second chance, even though deep down, emotionally, and even like rationally, logically, it wasn't going to work, but you always wanted to have a second chance. And they're saying you're getting some closure. This is your birthday wish here. So you can move on, date other people, move on with your life. Okay. So having said that, I feel almost as if, it's very work oriented. I'm seeing some of you are looking at property so that you can move, and I feel like far away. You're tired of all of this that has been weighing you down. You're tired of putting your life on hold. And I feel for some of you, 9 years, 10 years, like a whole decade. And so you're trying to, kind of like do something very covertly where you're thinking about, okay, I'm living up here. I want to move states. I want to change location. I want to change jobs. I just want a do-over. So I feel like some of you are contemplating getting a new job here, getting a new housing situation as well. So you're trying to get into a job, or you're debating like, I've been here long enough, so I should have that, the credibility or the credit scores in order to get a new house. You might be trying to put your house up on the market, so you're trying to talk to your neighbors about what their property value is worth so that you can decide whether or not you want to sell the house. I don't feel the selling happening this month, but I feel a lot of you are going to be talking about it. You're thinking about it, but you're keeping everything very close to your chest. And then others, there's a new job in the making for you. There's a new job here. It's going to dramatically increase your income generating potential. Okay. So if the work environment has been a little bit tenuous, I feel like you're going to be switching jobs very, very soon. All right. The last thing I want to leave this with before I switch over to the love reading here is the major thing they want you to emphasize. And, like they said, you can't have it all. You have a relationship here, but your professional life might be a little bit ungrounded, like topsy-turvy. And then others of you, professionally, things might be going swimmingly well. And then the relationship sector, for some reason, it's off kilter. So try to find a middle ground. Try to find, try to find people who might be in your same industry to date, not coworkers. That's not a good thing, but try to find people who are in your same professional contacts, your professional groups, so that you can start dating them, because those relationships are a lot more balanced, a lot more concrete, and a lot less topsy-turvy.